Hey, I'm Daniel from Kiwi Workshop. In this video I'm going to show you how I made this mobile wood storage cart. It has a compact design that includes both vertical and horizontal storage. Complete build plans for this cart are available on my website and you will find a link in the description below. I'll also be referencing some pages from the build plans as we go through this video. The dimensions for this cart are 1000mm long by 749mm wide by 787mm high. The entire cart is made from 19mm plywood and can be cut from two standard sheets of 2.4 by 1.2 metre ply. Here are cut sheets including both metric and imperial measurements for all of the parts required to build this cart. If you don't get the build plans, you'll probably want to reference back to this part of the video before making your cuts. To start with, I measured and marked all of my cut lines. For cutting large plywood sheets, I prefer to do this down at ground level using my circular saw and a clamped straight edge. I do have a table saw but don't have the best in-feed and out-feed support, so feel safer using this method for large sheets. Here I'm making 45-degree cuts for the cart dividers. Once the big plywood sheets are broken down, I'm happy to move to my table saw for the smaller cuts. And finally I'm cutting the feet, which will serve as mounting plates for the castor wheels. The build starts with the main body assembly, for which you will need the 4 dividers, base panel and back panel. I'm using both glue and screws for this build. Glue is optional but will result in stronger joints. The type of glue I'm using is Titebond Type 3, but any woodworking glue should be fine. To start the main body assembly, I've aligned an end divider and back panel on my workbench. Next I've inserted a screw in the top corner to hold them together, followed by an additional 3 screws. Here I'm temporarily clamping the subdividers between the main dividers. This will ensure the main dividers are perfectly aligned when they are screwed into place. And here I'm repeating the same steps as the end divider for the second divider. I had previously marked out these screw locations since it's difficult to place them by eye. They should be perfectly aligned with the middle of the second divider. Using the same method again, I'm using a subdivider to align the final 2 main dividers. And repeat the same construction steps to add the third divider. And for the final divider, I've rotated the main body assembly around so I can work on the other side. More glue, more screws, and all the main dividers should now be in place. For the next step, I'm going to remove the subdividers and clamp them between the main dividers on the base panel. Just like before, this will ensure they are perfectly aligned when inserting more screws. Before inserting screws into the bottom of the main dividers, I apply glue to all bottom edges. The clamped subdividers work perfectly as alignment slots when rolling the main body assembly back into place. With the divider assembly perfectly aligned on the base panel, I inserted 1 screw into the bottom of each divider. The clamped subdividers have now done their jobs and can be removed. Next I rotated the entire assembly so the bottom of the back panel was accessible. I then inserted 4 screws into the bottom of the back panel, and repeated the same process for inserting screws into the bottom of the end dividers. This completes the main body assembly. Next up is the shelf assembly. This requires 1 top panel, 4 shelf panels and 1 back panel. I started by measuring and marking out the locations of each shelf. To place each shelf, I first applied glue to one edge, then aligned into the final position and inserted a screw into one end. Next I rotated the shelf assembly and inserted a screw into the other end. For the remaining shelves, I repeated the same process, rotating the shelf assembly back and forwards until each shelf had a screw in each end. Next I flipped over the shelf assembly and marked out a centre point in the middle of each shelf. Then inserted a screw into the middle of each shelf. I then flipped the shelf assembly back over and applied glue to the exposed edge of all shelves. For the next step, I aligned the shelf assembly with the main body assembly. To help hold it in place, I clamped the two assemblies together at the top. To start attaching the shelf assembly to the main body assembly, I inserted a screw into the bottom of the back panel at each corner, followed by two screws into the bottom of the back panel. With the shelf assembly reasonably well held into place, I removed the clamp and applied glue to all top edges, ready to place the top panel. Next I secured the top panel in place with 8 screws. The final step in the shelf assembly is screwing the central back panel into the edge of each shelf. I started by marking out the screw locations, then inserted screws between each divider into the shelves. This completed the shelf assembly. I then moved on to the subdivider assembly. This requires 3 subdivider panels, which you can see marked as part 4 on the model. Here I'm marking out locations for each subdivider at half the width of each main divider. To place the first subdivider, I started by applying glue to 3 edges, then slotted into place. Next I inserted a screw from the main dividers into the top corner of each subdivider, followed by a screw into each bottom corner. I followed the same process to place the subdivider on the far side. Before going any further, I decided it was a good time to move the entire assembly down to ground level. Any additional weight added beyond this point will only make the step more difficult. Here I'm marking out locations for pocket holes that will be used to screw the central subdivider into place. If you have a pocket hole jig, I recommend using this. Otherwise you can drill a hole at an angle starting roughly 2 inches from the edge and exiting halfway down, just like I'm doing here. To place the central subdivider, I applied glue to 3 edges, slotted into place, and clamped a piece of wood on the opposite side that I'll be drilling from. This will hold the subdivider in the correct position when screwed into place. Next I inserted 2 screws into the pocket holes along this edge. And then repeated for the other side to complete the subdivider assembly. The front panel assembly is really simple and only requires the front panel, which you can see marked as part 7 on the model. I rolled the cart onto its back, ready to place the front panel. Next I applied glue to all front edges and put the front panel in place. Finally I inserted 8 screws to complete the front panel assembly. The final step in the cart build is the feet and wheel assembly. For this step, 4 feet and 4 caster wheels are required. The feet serve as mounting plates for the caster wheels and need to be sized to fit the caster wheels you have. Here I'm rolling the cart over onto its top, ready to place the feet and wheels. My workbench works as a good support to hold the cart in this position. I start by applying glue to one of the feet and screwing into position. And then repeat for the remaining feet. With all the feet in place, it's time to attach the caster wheels. I secure each caster wheel in place with 4 button head screws. While the cart is upside down, I insert an additional screw into the bottom of each central divider. And I am done! The cart is now fully assembled. I'm now rolling the cart over onto its wheels to see how it turned out. And I'm pretty happy with it. The cart looks good and it's rolling smoothly on its wheels. And now it's the fun part, time to start storing wood and tidy out the workshop at the same time. So that concludes this build. If you liked this video and found it useful, please hit the like button, I'd really appreciate that. I also have many new videos planned, so please consider hitting the subscribe button so you're notified when new videos are available. Thanks for watching.